Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Kaya. Welcome to my channel. As you can see by the title of this video, today I kind of want to be sharing my experience with escapism and how it has led me down paths that I never even wanted to go down, and how it's distracted me from my journey and this and that, and taking me all over the place, only for me to finally find a space of peace and of discipline and of action to actually get myself to where I want to go. First, before I do get started, I just want to let you know, even though this is not a tarot video, I do offer personal readings. If you're interested in ever getting a tarot reading or an oracle reading, you can check out the link down in the description. I have all my information there, and I have a website where you can go and book through that if you are interested. So let's get into this topic. I feel like for me, this is one of those topics where I'm still teetering on fighting it because it was so ingrained in the way that I showed up in the world and the way that I showed up for myself. I kind of want to talk about what it's taught me and how I've moved forward from escapism. So, first, I guess I can talk about like what I mean by escapism, and overall I mean not taking the actions that are needed to get you where you want to go, but convincing yourself you have the energy to somehow conjure things up with no action, if that makes sense. I know it sounds a little weird, but I guess in that sense, from an energetic kind of mindset standpoint, that's what I mean. And then from a literal, like physical standpoint of like wanting to drink or wanting to smoke, or substances to avoid any difficult time in life. So I guess in all honesty, this is somewhat of a vulnerable topic for me. But yeah, we're gonna talk about it anyways because that's what we do here. I'm gonna share my experience, and hopefully that can help anybody else who's struggling now or who has struggled in the past. You can kind of relate to what I've experienced. So for me, I think that escapism at its root is either trying to avoid sadness or painful, hard feelings, or it's looking for a shortcut. Those are the two ways I've kind of seen escapism show up within myself. And this kind of takes a lot for me to sit here and express this because for a while I was deep in my mind of like, if I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. I'm just telling you now, if you have that mindset or if you see that mindset lingering within you, get rid of it immediately because it does not help you in any way, shape, or form. If anything, it keeps you stagnant and it keeps you so far from your goals that, like, it's just not even funny. It's just not even funny. For me, I noticed escapism in myself when I was looking for shortcuts about doing things. Also, if you're ever wondering what this little red dot is on my microphone, I have one mic that broke, and this one's the only one that works. So I had to, and they're the exact same. So I wanted to know which one works. Anyways, back to the topic. So I feel like that's how escapism shows up within myself, was in two different ways: looking for shortcuts and avoiding painful, hard feelings. And I'm going to talk about how both of those, facing both of those head on and directly, has helped me and what I've learned from that. One thing that I noticed within myself and that I've learned from my past of wanting to escape and not wanting to sit down and face things is that escaping will make it feel like you're making progress even when you're not. You'll convince yourself in your mind that you're headed in the right direction in life, or just because you're thinking up ideas and you're not taking action on them, that everything is fine, because the thought of something makes you feel good. If you can come up with an idea in your head, you're like, okay, well, I came up with this idea, I feel proud of myself, my ego feels validated, boom, that's all I had to do. And that's, I feel like, the illusion of progress that I found myself in for so long. And it's kind of an easy illusion to fall into. From my own experience, from what I see, it's like you can kind of tell yourself anything. You can feel any kind of way. You can conjure up any feeling that you would like. Sometimes we can't control what we feel, but sometimes you can. And sometimes you can choose to feel a certain way, even if it's not reflective of your reality. And that's what I found within myself a lot. I would think of ideas and I would brainstorm, and I may even plan, and I might even take it as far as writing things down, but actually applying any form of action or any real effort and discipline and making my ideas a tangible reality is kind of where I fell off. And I think that had a lot to do with the way that I approached goals. I I really struggled with escapism for a very long time. And that's one of the first things that I noticed. Again, something that I noticed within myself is the illusion of control. You feel like you're in control when you tell yourself you're in control. You feel like you're in control when you have the option between feeling a good feeling or feeling a bad feeling, and you choose a good feeling. It's like, okay, well, so you like, I'm in control now, right? Like everything's fine. And nothing's fine at all. And so, one thing that I noticed with not facing either emotional or physical things head on is that you have this illusion of control. You convince yourself that you are in charge so that you don't feel as out of control as you actually are. I've got like one of my blue crystals here. I'm like, okay, today we're really talking. I need the throat chakra going. um, but yeah, if you think about how when you are faced with an opportunity to face reality and to face the hardships in life, and you are always choosing to feel positive no matter what, even if the positive doesn't help you heal or grow, you're putting yourself in a place where you are less in control. There's a mountain of negative feelings that's growing beneath the surface, and it's going to explode one day. It's going to come to the surface, and you're going to have no control because you're going to have all of these emotions that you kept suppressing because you just kept choosing to feel good even when you knew it wasn't good for you. And that is something that I struggle with deeply. And that's where that illusion of control comes in. Where you're like, I'm choosing to feel positive. Well, you're also suppressing and ignoring the negative things that are going to help you grow. And then that's something I really saw within myself. And it was almost like a cycle because sometimes those negative feelings would come to the surface, like they always will. And instead of processing them, I would choose to like escape in a different way. So like drink or like, do something else where it just wasn't beneficial to me at all. So it was like quite literally a cycle of escapism, a cycle of not wanting to face reality, a cycle of not helping myself. It is really what it is. And it's heartbreaking when you think about it in that way. The next point that I really wanted to talk about that I learned kind of the hard way, or I more so should say the long way is how I learned it, because I learned it eventually, just took me too long. Was that things actually go away when you face them. Oh my gosh. I know it's such a shocker. I didn't know this until more recently within my life, within the past year or two. And I know there's some people out there who was like, well, yeah, obviously. Well, that's the mindset that for you had probably been a foundation. And for some people, that mindset isn't a foundation. The mindset of just running and running and running and never facing is like, okay, this is how I keep myself feeling good. But when you actually turn to face the things you're either afraid of or that are going wrong or the negative circumstances in your life, you actually will realize that you're a lot stronger than whatever it is. Whatever it is a fleeting experience. So whether it's sadness, depression, or heartbreak, or a move, or something that is causing you any sort of discomfort or any negative feeling in life, it is a fleeting experience. What is constant and what will always stay is your observation of it. Your consciousness is not going anywhere. So when you turn to face these things, you realize that your consciousness is the thing that is stronger. Your consciousness will continue to perceive. These emotions are only going to experience, they're only going to be reflected to you for a period of time. And I think that's something that I had a really difficult time with learning, is that when you face these negative emotions head on, when you stop, when you don't drink or when you don't smoke or when you don't do anything to run from the feelings that you have, they actually go away. It's strange because when you're running from them, they seem to be getting bigger and they seem to go with you for a lot longer. You could run for one day, 1 month, 1 year, multiple years. It doesn't matter. Those feelings will always be there, waiting and begging for you to process them. Until you turn and face those feelings, that is only when you will realize that you are bigger than them. And that is how I really overcame a lot of darker periods in my life, is by not trying not to. It's so hard because it's such a hard thing, especially for me at least, to practice in life when times are more difficult or when times are lonely or when times are this or that. It feels like never ending, and because the consciousness is experiencing it presently, but only when you're out of it do you realize that it was just a small period of time. But when you're in it, it feels like forever. But you have to remember that these negative feelings will go away. Don't escape them, turn to face them, because you're bigger than them and they actually go away. So, and what I mean by that is like the sadness will fade. You will find reasons to be happy again. You'll smile again. You'll feel the sun on your skin. You'll feel the breeze. Like life will return to feeling good when you accept the fact that whatever it is that you're experiencing presently will pass. It's only when we have this idea that it stays forever does it stay forever. It's almost like we're creators of our own realities. Like this crazy little concept that we are co-creating with the universe, because it's true. And I've experienced that so much when it comes to negative feelings. And that's just what my last point on why it's so important to face things head on, because they will actually go away. And it might not go away instantly. It might take a couple of days, a couple of months, a couple of years, but it will go away as long as you keep showing up to face it. Don't run from it, because running from it is almost like inviting the negative feelings to chase you. We don't want to do that. And that's what I've learned the hard way when it comes to like anxiety or depression or loneliness, those type of feelings. It's taking me too long. Okay. And so, with that mindset being now the new foundation of I'm turning to face things head on, it's time to take action. And so, the action, it becomes exciting, and it becomes something where you feel like this is plausible for me, because you understand that whatever you're experiencing presently will pass. And it starts to break the cycle. That's what I notice, is that action starts to break the cycle of escapism, because you cannot escape action. You can escape, like, you're in your thoughts, you can escape in feelings. You cannot escape that you've taken an action or you haven't taken an action, because you've literally physically done it or you haven't. There is no deluding yourself into thinking, oh well, I can just like watch TV and just relax, and like the business will start on its own. Like, it's just not going to work like that. Disciplined action does not allow you to escape. It forces you to be present, it forces you to show up, and it forces you to be real with yourself about, okay, well, what are you doing and what are you not doing, and how are you helping yourself versus how are you not helping yourself. And that is something that I've actually found a lot of joy in learning, because in a lot of ways, what I was missing was the disciplined action. That's all I was really missing. The mindset was there, the love was there, the belief in myself was there. Just missing that action. Show up and have the discipline to choose yourself every time. Don't choose to run. Don't choose the negative feelings. Choose yourself. That's what I've learned. And it really makes you feel a lot better. And it actually, like, you'll start to see, leading me into my next point, you'll start to see the results of your actions. And that even further, it kind of excites you. And it's like a big cycle. You're like creating a new cycle now, where you're believing in yourself, you're taking the action, and you're seeing the results of the action. And you're like, wait, I don't have to escape. I can overcome this when I know I do these specific things, like step 1, 2, and 3. I don't have to run. I don't have to escape. There's nothing that I have to fear, because any negativity that I'm experiencing is temporary. So I'm going to keep going. And it starts to build a new cycle. And that's what I see. And again, like this, all that I'm saying is like things that I've done for myself and how I've experienced like escapism through my own perspective. And I'm just wanting to share, because it could help somebody out there, or it could not. I just want to share what I've experienced. So none of this is like fact, it's just what I've done and what's helped me. And so doing that really helps to form a new cycle, and not a cycle of escapism, a cycle of being present, believing in yourself, and taking that action. Taking that action. But yeah, you start to see the universe work for you. You start to see God show up for you. You start to see these angels move around you with love. And they're like, okay, we see you got up, so we're going to get up and help you too. And things start to slowly take off. And that further helps your belief in this idea that you can face whatever it is that you're running from, and you will overcome it. And there's no need to run. But yeah, that kind of like overall, that's like my own experience with escapism. Trust and believe it's always sometimes still present. It's sometimes still prevalent, and it still shows up where I'm like, okay, nope, I gotta show up for me, and I gotta choose me. And there's days where I fall off, but that's okay, because nobody has to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect, I don't have to be perfect, nobody has to be perfect at all. But that's how I kind of started to break that cycle of like sadness and anger and resentment for things not working out for me, when it's like things are working out for you, girl. You're just not showing up for yourself. Really holding myself accountable. So if you're somebody who struggles with escapism, please understand that anything that you're running from, you can overcome. Anything that you're running from and that you're fearful that will like overtake you or consume you in some way, it's not true. That's a complete illusion. Your awareness is stronger. Your awareness is permanent. Your consciousness will always be perceiving, no matter what state it's in, whether it's in the body you're in presently, or in a different body, or in a different life form, or maybe it's not even on earth anymore. It doesn't matter. It will always be perceiving itself. So whatever you're fearful of, you're bigger than, and you can overcome. Just choose yourself and give yourself the opportunity to prove to yourself that you can overcome it, because that's something I didn't do. I didn't give myself the opportunity to prove to me that I could overcome anything that I was running from. And it's a form of self love. It really is. Life begins when you stop trying to escape. It's just that simple, I feel like. But yeah, easier said than done. This was like a multiple year process for me. But hey, healing is a life, healing takes a lifetime. So I'm here for the long run. And so should you. But yeah, that's kind of all I had to share. I hope that this video could be kind of informative and I guess somewhat relatable in some way. Again, if you are interested in booking a personal reading with me, links down below to the website. I'm sending peace and love and abundance to wherever you are and whoever you are. I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.